possibly coming and playing with the Mavs on maybe Monday. My question to you, though, is over your 15-year career, how have you evolved as a player, and how will the player that you are now, that you've evolved into now, help this Mavs team take the next step?
In terms of how I've evolved as a player, I think I came into the league being a good shooter, and I got better as a shooter. And I feel like I improved on the margins, on all the other stuff. But the foundation of my game is being able to shoot the basketball, and everything else comes from that. Whether that's being able to make a pocket pass because the big steps up as I'm coming off a down screen, being able to attack closeouts, being able to make the right pass, being able to set screens now. In the last few years, I've set a lot of ball screens as the screener. The threat of my shot opens things up for guys like Ben Simmons and Zion. I've always recognized that the game evolves, and so your own game has to figure out how to evolve with the NBA game. And what was your second? Oh, how am I going to help the Mavs? Well, I hope I help them a lot. But definitely, spreading the floor, giving space to guys like Jalen and Luka, and hopefully being a voice of leadership and reason, and going out there and competing and helping this team win games. But we're doing great right now without me. I don't want to mess anything up.
Eddie, Mavs.com.
Well, that kind of dovetails into what I was going to ask. First of all, how are you feeling, and how did it go today? And secondly, how they won 20 of 28. How excited are you about the future of this team?
Well, I'm really excited. And this team is trending in the right direction. I think over the last 15 games, we're number 3 in the NBA net rating. So the team is moving in the right direction, and hopefully we can sort of I would like to get us out of that. I know everybody in this talks about not looking at the standings, but I would like to be out of the play-in game. That would be cool to me, not have to deal with that and the extra stress of having to play maybe an extra game or two. The other part of your question was, say it again?
Just how you felt today.
Oh, how I felt, yeah. Look, my Achilles and my heel is sore, but it's sore all the time. I'm just managing right now, and it was the first time going live, and I thought it went really well, and we'll see how I feel tomorrow and recover tomorrow. But I'm definitely itching to get back out on the court and competing in games. It's the angst and the antsiness is real right now. I'm anxious to play.
Mark Follow, Mavs PD.
Hey JJ, good afternoon. Quick non-basketball question, if I could. Your podcast has become most listened for all of us since you joined the Mavs. Was just curious if you could share with us, forgive me for not knowing, what was the impetus behind starting that, and how has your experience been on that side of the microphone?
Well, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. So I started podcasting 5 years ago. At the time, it was on Woj's platform with Yahoo called The Vertical. Woj had asked me in the summer of 2015 to write a few articles for his platform, The Vertical, and I declined that because I immediately thought back to college and writing term papers at the very last minute, and I was like, I don't want to have to deal with that during the season. So he came back to me a few months later and said, we're all going to do a podcast. Why don't you host your own podcast? So I just gave it a go. I didn't even know what a podcast was, to be honest with you. Did a bunch of episodes there, went to The Ringer, and then my contract with The Ringer was expiring after 3 years with them, and I knew I wanted to just own my own. If I was going to keep doing a podcast, I wanted to be able to own my own podcast and own the IP and own the RSS feed. And actually monetize the podcast, which prior to that I never did. And so, it's way more work than what I was doing before, but it's been very rewarding, and it's been a cool experience to to start your own production company and put out a weekly, sometimes twice a week podcast. It's a lot of work.
Isaac Harris, Mavs.com.
Yeah, JJ, now that you've been around the team for a little bit on an everyday basis and being around the guys, has there been a Maverick that has surprised you, whether it's their work ethic or just how good they actually are now that you've been around the team for a little bit?
I do watch a lot of basketball, so I have watched the Mavs play a ton. So I can't say I'm like truly surprised. Like the fact that Jalen Brunson is a really good NBA player is not surprising to me. I've been a fan of his now for a couple of years. I did mention this on the podcast yesterday, but Dorian, just I don't think gets enough credit around the league for what he does. He's incredibly valuable, super low maintenance, works hard, great teammate. So I think for him, I'm not surprised in necessarily his impact on the game because I knew that beforehand. But just what a great dude he is, what a great teammate he is. You need guys like that on every team. You need guys who enjoy coming to work every day, who brighten the room, who have a great attitude, who are great teammates, who's talkative. He's just a great dude.
Maria's from Puerto Rico.
Where's Maria?
Actually, I'm from Peru, but I work for Puerto Rican. Nice to meet you, JJ. What I would like to ask you is, I know you've been around the league for so many years, but anyways, you're getting closer to these Mavs debut. So how would you manage your emotions and expectations? And going back to your podcast, I was wondering if you have a favorite episode or what was an interview that you enjoyed the most?
I'll ask the second one first. So I would say my favorite episode that I've done for a player was DeMar DeRozan. I thought DeMar was awesome. He just provided a lot of insight. He was open and candid, told some great stories. For non-player, I would probably say my favorite episode was Stacey Abrams. I think she's one of the most impressive people in the United States. Just really sharp, really knowledgeable, really passionate about what she does. And I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear the first question. You was just talking about how I manage my emotions in regards to the playoffs. Did you say?
I think in regards to your Mavs debut.
Oh, my Mavs debut. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I heard the getting closer part. I thought you were talking about the playoffs. Yes, I'd like it. Look, it's like going to school for the first time. First day of school. You're always going to have some nerves. There's nerves. I played 7 years in Orlando. There was always nerves the first game of the season. 4 years in the Clippers. There's nerves the first game of the season. When you go to a new team in the middle of the season, there's probably a little bit more nerves just for the familiarity and you want to go out there and you want to play well. But I've been in this long enough to know that you just got to trust your prep and the work you put in, and hopefully the body holds up and I can go out and make an impact for this team.
Okay, thanks, JJ.
All right, thank you all.
Thanks, JJ.